yourself to your name. Like if you click on the three dots on the right hand top corner, you can rename yourself to
Anamik Shah.
I can do it, sir.
Anamik Shah, Achintya, and Ken.
Achintya and Ken should be joining, I think.
Perfect.
We are live on YouTube. Kishore, you can start recording.
And now it is live.
Yeah, great, sir.
Live on YouTube as well.
Can you please start the recording, sir, Ravindra sir?
All the co-hosts can do it. You know, whoever wants, they can do it. And what we'll do is, anyhow, I will also do that.
Okay.
Great, sir.
Okay.
Like, for example, Sudarshan has done it already.
Okay. So we'll have multiple copies.
Yeah, you will have
Okay.
multiple copies. Yeah,
Okay.
in case, you know.
Yeah, sounds good.
And maybe from tomorrow, I think we will assign it to only one person, because anyhow, YouTube
Yes.
link could be there that is recorded.
Good morning, Raghu and team.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
All fine, sir.
Welcome you all.
Yeah, Achintya, are you able to log in?
Yeah.
Okay, can you log in? Yeah.
We are there.
I think. Yeah, you both are together?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Working from? Oh,
Yeah. Dr. Raghu, you are aware Dr. Suresh is on travel now for immediate work. And
okay.
There is one more Pritesh, if we can identify who is this.
He told he is on travel, but he told he will join.
No, he may not join. That's what he said. He spoke to me. And then, somewhere in the evening, he will address after 3 o'clock. That's what he said. He asked me to convey in my address, that I'll be doing it. Huh?
Is that?
Yeah.
He's the important one, sir.
Yeah, but the thing, yeah, it's one urgent talk, he's supposed to leave. That's what he said me.
Oh, I see.
He said, after he's reaching his place, he will speak, mostly after 3:30. Yeah, that's what he said. Okay.
3:30 means like how? Like, because the participants won't be there, right?
Oh, this is scheduled at 12 o'clock, huh?
Yeah, till 12 o'clock.
Okay, then I send a message to him. We will see the possibilities. Because
Okay.
tomorrow.
Like at the end, whether he can join like through. That's what he told. Like he wrote me yesterday. Like he is on travel, but like he can join. Like he'll try to join. That's what he wrote mine.
Yeah. Anyway, I send a message to him. So what he suggests. Yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
Dhanbal,
Hello. Good morning.
can you recognize me?
Sorry.
Suvarna.
Suvarna, madam. Okay. How are you, madam?
Fine, after a long time.
Yes. Okay. Very, very long time.
Yeah.
Good to see you here.
Yeah. I have muted my camera. I won't show myself.
Okay. No problem. Just my colleague at Mysore. Good.
There are two Pritesh here. Can we identify them, please, and rename?
And that stretch and we know. Sir.
Now there are 3.
The connect person. Yeah.
So I just, sir, yeah, sir, you got the link? So I think everybody is joining now.
Sudarshan, can you see Dr. Achintya has joined? Can you rename him as Achintya?
Yes, Pritesh, but there are two Priteshes now, three Priteshes now.
Yeah, one Pritesh is Dr. Achintya. He has started his video, so we can see him, can identify him.
And there might be one more, probably Kenneth, Dr. Kenneth.
Yeah.
Can we check how many people have joined YouTube so that we can assess if we should wait for a few minutes?
I think whatever shall we like, we shouldn't delay much, so we'll just go ahead and start.
Okay, wait for 1 more minute.
Right, hi there, this is Kenneth. I just want to let you know that I was here.
I think whatever shall we like, we shouldn't delay much, so we'll just go ahead and start.
Okay, wait for 1 more minute.
Sir, we wanted to confirm every guest is here. Can you please call them and check?
Yeah, everybody is there, Pritesh.
Okay.
In fact, Anamiksha is just joining.
Okay.
Let's go ahead on sharp time. Shall we go ahead?
All right then. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar series, Introduction to Computational Drug Discovery, co-organized by the Pharmacy Council of India and Schrödinger. I'm Shelvia, a co-manager at Schrödinger India, and I will be the moderator for today's session. I would like to first welcome and thank our distinguished collaborators of the event, the Pharmacy Council of India, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, Syngene International, Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists, Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and JSS University. During this course of this presentation, if you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comment section of the YouTube video, and we will try to address them at the end of the presentation. So today's presentation is to bring you on board and introduce you to the key objectives and the structures of this course with insightful talks by eminent collaborators and my colleagues at Schrödinger. First of all, I would like to welcome Professor S.P. Dhanpal, Principal, JSS College of Pharmacy, UT. He will be giving the inaugural address. Dr. S.P. Dhanpal is currently Professor, Department Pharmacognosy and Phytopharmacy and Principal at JSS CP UT. He obtained B.Pharm and M.Pharm from JSS CP UT 1989, 1991 respectively. PhD from UCPSC Warangal, Kakatiya University, Jan 2004. He has 26 years of teaching and research experience at UG-PG level. His research interest is phytochemistry, herbal formulation, and standardization. He has 150 presentation in international, national, regional seminars and published 95 journal articles. He is an approved PhD guide at Dr. NGR Medical University, Chennai, JNTU, Hyderabad, and JSSU, Mysore. So far, 8 candidates have been awarded PhD under his guidance. His research group consists of PG, PhD students, international scientists under CV Raman, NAM Science and Technology, Tata, ISTA, JRD fellowships. He has received financial grants of about 1.5 crore towards research grant and conduct of FDP seminar workshop from AICTE, ICMR, DST, Government of India. He has been a member of Scientific Services Committee of Indian Pharma Congress from last 6 years. Over to you, Professor Dhanpal.
Thank you, Dr. Sylvia, for the nice introduction. Very pleasant good morning, one and all present here on this online mode. It's my pleasure to give the welcome address for this virtual program. It said that being a CAD scientist is a CRO typically means working every day on a different target, on a different project, and on a different compound series. I, Dr. S.P. Dhanpal, Principal of JSS College of Pharmacy, UT, take this great opportunity to welcome you all for this journey of Introduction to Computational Drug Design organized by the Pharmacy Council of India, New Delhi, and Schrodinger, Bangalore, wherein eminent speakers and guests from different walks of life have virtually gathered to share the knowledge and vast experience with the scientific community. We are very proud to be associated with this virtual theory, demo, and hands-on program. It's our pleasure in welcoming our mentor and the brain behind this program, Dr. B. Suresh, President, Pharmacy Council of India, New Delhi, and President of this inaugural session, for bringing all of us together for the successful start of this program. I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. And I also welcome all the office bearers of Pharmacy Council of India for this program. Unfortunately, Dr. B. Suresh could not join this program due to his emergency travel. He's traveling for an emergency work and he'll be joining us with delay. And he requested me to convey his best wishes for the success of this inauguration function and also this full program. I'm proud and privileged in welcoming Dr. George Vaisho, the Managing Director, Schrodinger, and Dr. Raghu Rangaswamy, Vice President of India Operations, and our proud alumni member of JSS College of Pharmacy, UT, the man behind conceptualizing this program and bringing it into reality. I welcome you, Dr. Raghu, and also, as said, there is no success without a team. I extend a warm welcome to the entire team of Schrodinger for this theory, demo, and hands-on program, especially Dr. Pritesh Bhatt, Ms. Sylvia, Ms. Brejwal, Dr. Vinod, and Dr. Prechwal. I welcome all the industry and academia partners who graciously agreed to be a part of this entire program. I welcome Dr. Praveen Ayer, Chief Scientific Officer, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, a new way for a new world, and his entire team. I also welcome Dr. Kenneth Barr, Senior Vice President, and Dr. Achintya Das, Director, Syngene International Limited, and the entire team for this program with the motto, Putting Science to Work. I take this opportunity to welcome Professor Anamik Shaw, President of Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists, and their entire team. I welcome our academic partner officials of Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, Karnataka. And also, I extend a warm welcome to our good friend, Professor Mallikarjun Rao, Principal of Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and his entire team for this program. I also extend a warm welcome to Dr. Swarna Kini, Professor, and Professor Gautam Senai, Vice Principal, MCOPS, Manipal, who is going to deliver the vote of thanks. I welcome all the officials of JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Mysuru, Dr. Surinder Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Mysuru, and organizing team from JSS College of Pharmacy, UT, and Mysuru, with the motto, Learning Never Stops at JSS. Especially the organizing team comprises of from JSS College of Pharmacy, UT, Dr. Azal Assam, Dr. Kalirajan, Dr. Zubi, and from JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore, led by Dr. Pujar, Dr. Durayanand, and Dr. Prashant. Last but not the least, I welcome all the participants who have shown their keen interest in learning computational drug design. Truly, the learning never stops at any situation of time. I understand there are more than 4,000 registered delegates and request all the participants to make use of this great opportunity to the best of their ability. It's a glad welcome we bring to you all this morning, filled with the desires, hopes, and dreams we all share. My best wishes to all for the success of this program. Happy learning. Thank you and have a knowledgeable time ahead and have a good day. Stay safe and stay healthy. I extend my special welcome to Dr. Ravindra, the Chief Information Officer of JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Mysuru. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Dhanpal, for addressing our audience. I would like to now welcome Mr. Raghu R, Vice President Schrodinger, who will be taking you through the structure of this course. Raghu Rangaswamy, Vice President of India Operation, joined Schrodinger in 2004 as a technical support scientist and has been promoted to his current position since 2013. Raghu manages business development and administration of Schrodinger's India office. He was the university topper, gold medalist, and he received his master's in pharmacy from MGR Medical University and completed his MBA and PG diploma in bioinformatics from Madurai Kamaraj University. Prior to joining Schrodinger, Raghu started his career as an assistant professor in PSG Medical College and worked as a bioinformatics scientist in Biocon, DSQ Biotech, and Tata Elxsi. Raghu is well known in the bioinformatics and molecular modeling community in India, and he sits on the academic advisory board of many Indian universities. He's also a trustee and secretary to Friends of Campbell India, an organization dedicated to mentally challenged children. Mr. Raghu, the control is all yours.
Am I audible and the slides are seen?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. So thanks a lot to everybody, to all the partners for organizing this event. And I'm able to see like more than 4,000 participants has joined in this event, which is really like the way like things are changing today. Like it is really dramatic. Like, okay, for accommodating 4,000 people on a stadium or in a seminar hall is impossible. But the way like things are changing today, like we expect really more than 10,000 people to register and join. So this is something like really we are in the times of changing times. So coming to like why we organize this computational drug design, why this is the next disruptive technology, and what are we going to do along with our partners. That's what I'm just going to give a very brief idea. If you look into the way like the drug discovery in the past, it was more of a serendipity. Like it is really tougher to discover a drug molecule. It's tougher than a rocket science. It takes 15 years, billions of dollars. And it was all why it took so much of time was it was more of a serendipity. It is like a blind man touching an elephant. So he knows only one aspect of the elephant, right? So, but like one aspect of knowing the elephant is not going to give a full picture. So the same way in the drug discovery, like, okay, if you know only one aspect, like the molecule is active, that is not enough for an FDA, or you cannot go and market a drug molecule. So it should satisfy all the other parameters. So you should know the entire aspect of a drug and everything should be perfect. So that is the criteria when it comes to drug discovery. And what we knew in the past was like a blind man touching an elephant. But you know the same famous thing in Mahabharata, where the guru asks like Arjuna, okay, what do you see? So comparing to all the other people who are aiming the arrow. So he says like, okay, I see the bird's neck, right? So that is what in reality is needed in the drug discovery. So in the past, it was all like more of shooting the tree where you want to hit the bird, but without knowing where the bird is sitting, where the target is located or whatever. So that's where like what helped to look into those aspects was like the rational drug design, the structural informatics or the structural biology, the crystallography and all those things when it came. So people realized like, okay, understanding the protein ligand interaction is a must for a rational approach. So then came the technologies like docking, free energy perturbation, all those things which gave more idea about the protein structure the dynamics of the water in the protein structure, and how the protein ligand binds. It is like, okay, you're designing a duplicate key for a lock. So that is the way like real drug discovery is also. So these technologies again like added to the computing powers, like the cloud computing, the GPU computing is today like changing the entire landscape of drug discovery from totally a serendipity to rational drug design. And today we are all talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning and everything. But if you look into like and the drug discovery scenario in the last few years, there is a whole lot of change happening. But in an academic environment, how much of the academics are teaching on these advanced technologies where the industry is going in a much faster way, whether the academic is catching up with all these new developments, etc. If you ask, like being in the academic scientific advisory board of many of the academic institutes, I can say, no, there is a big gap between the industry and the academia and in the academic syllabus. So it is a need to teach and bring in these things. So that is a need of the hour. So unless like somebody teaches on all these things, all these intricate science, like, okay, we are going to be lagging behind understanding this science and using this in our day-to-day science and research. So some of the things like what we have brought in the few years is, this is one of the target, like probably some of you might have heard, like on ACC, where we worked on the drug discovery within about an year. We screened millions of molecules, everything through virtual, and gone are those days where synthesizing millions of compounds in a serendipity way using combinatorial, but here everything was screened using the computers and only few hundred molecules were designed and sold for more than $1 billion kind of thing. And today, like again, like the extent of coming with the free energy perturbation and the cloud computing, today, like, okay, before you go and synthesize a molecule, you can identify the molecule's activity within about 5 to 6 hours. This is really a game changer for the pharma R&D, because for a chemist who doesn't know what would be the activity of this molecule, but like here is a technology which can predict, like, okay, whatever the functional group you're changing, we are bringing close to what is the reality. So it is really a boon for the pharma R&D. So these things are changing the world. And if you see, like, this is again from some of the pharma companies, like what is the actual experiment and what is the reality? It is really close to what is the reality. And if you look at an example like AstraZeneca, gone are those days like where you have to screen millions or even thousands. Look at the number of ligands for different targets, what they have screened. And like with what is the deviation from the actual wet lab. So this is really a changing landscape in the pharmaceutical R&D. So this is really like when this change is happening, and India being a country like who has adapted to the IT technology in a much faster way. And today, like because of the IT, we are leading, and there is a need for like the Indian academic to catch up on this science also. And so this is like something we have to teach. Like, okay, if when I was talking with Dr. Suresh, he told like, okay, if you want to introduce this area into the M.Pharm syllabus or whatever, there should be somebody to teach. Somebody should learn about this technology. So can you help us? And we told like, yes, we are there to help, because me and my team, everybody coming from a pharma background, we know like, okay, there is an educational program needed to teach all the faculty and all the students. So today, if you see, again, like here, like whatever we are doing, everything is going on a virtual way. Like where you take millions of compounds or even billions of compounds, screen based upon all the ADME parameters, everything, do a lead identification, do a lead optimization, synthesize only few molecules. This is a real game changer for in the pharma R&D. For example, now we are all talking about COVID, and the scenarios are entirely changing. And like this is one of the things you can see in our website also, where using the Google Cloud, we are screening billions of compounds in a few weeks, and which takes like nearly 2000 years are screened within about nearly few weeks. So that is like changing landscape in the drug discovery area. So you might have heard about like this one, like Choluteca Bridge. This is like something, a bridge was created between two different cities, and there used to be heavy flooding. So the bridge used to get washed away. So this engineer Choluteca built a very strong bridge. And again, there was a major flood which came in, and like the entire change of the river course itself completely changed. So if you look into the COVID scenario now, like there is a lot of changes happening, like, okay, a lot of fields are going out, a lot of new innovative, new things are coming up. And this is a need of the hour to change. And like today, government of India is telling like, okay, when the COVID came, everybody is asking, is there a drug available to treat the COVID? Like, okay, can we go and design something quickly? Okay, but understanding like, okay, if somebody has not worked on the computational drug design or anything, and like the science is not developed, is it possible to design something quickly? So people are realizing at the last end movement, but like it is a need to change. At least it is not too late. That's what I'm telling, to learn this technology. So life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And nothing is permanent in this world. Change is only the permanent in this world. So if you look into some of the older things, like you look into Kodak, like Nokia, BlackBerry or anything, these were technological companies. They were ruling the world at one point of time, but they didn't change as per the requirements, what is happening in the industry. So they lost the market. And today it is a technologically world like where you have to change every 6 months, or like you have to advance yourself much faster to survive in the industry, survive in the job scenario or whatever. So India is becoming one of the hottest destination for the pharmaceutical CROs, and CROs are enabling even the small biotechs or even the small groups. Like if I heard in abroad, there are even smaller people, like groups like 5 people, 10 people form a company. There is no need to invest in a big space to synthesize or do a biological testing and everything. The CROs are playing a very major role, like in completely changing the drug discovery scenario. Probably Dr. Kenneth, who is going to talk, like was very well experienced working with Merck and other things, and who is heading the CRO. He is going to talk a lot on this aspect. And again, like if I look into the recent years, the Indian CROs has done a massive expansion in the chemistry. Again, Dr. Kenneth will talk more on this, like how the expansion is going on in a bigger way. In fact, when I was doing my M.Pharm, like there was chemistry and everything. Today, I don't see like much of M.Pharm chemistry in most of the pharmacy colleges, because there was like competition coming from like, okay, the other organic chemist and everything. But now, if you look into the reality in B.Pharm, one studies extensively on various chemistry branches, biology, pharmacology, pharmaceutics, everything. But are we incorporating the computational methods into any of the teachings, any of these new developments? If I ask, like there is no. In fact, like last year or year before, like they brought a little bit of a change on one of the subject as an optional. But like this is really a game changer in for the pharmaceutical, for the M.Pharm or B.Pharms. So a job opportunity for an M.Pharm chemistry can be really enhanced by adding like the medicinal chemistry with the computational. So this is going to add a lot of credibility, because without just knowing a chemistry, how to synthesize, instead of that, if a student coming out, if they know like the CAD, if they know on the informatics, that is going to add a lot of value to the students. So in fact, Dr. Suresh informed me like, okay, we are going to bring an M.Pharm in drug discovery, which will be suitable for the CROs. In discussion with the CROs and everybody, they are going to design a course, and this course is designed to help like, okay, how to make like train the next generation M.Pharm and how to bring a drug discovery course, etc. So it is not the strongest of the species that survives. It is the one that changes and adapt to the situation that survives. If you look into the case of virus like HIV, okay, it changes. Like if you design a molecule, it changes. So that's where it survives. So change and adapt as soon as possible before the time runs quickly. So the course is designed for about 1.5 months. So first, initially, we are going to introduce about the various computational drug design methods, complete theoretical part for about 10 days. That covers all the structure-based and ligand-based lead identification optimization methods, computational formulation design, biologics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the free energy perturbation, and everything we are going to cover on the theoretical basis of the computational drug design. Then we are getting into the online demos, workshops. There is also a Schrodinger online course, which like if somebody doesn't have an hardware, you can like using the cloud computing, like, okay, even if you have any normal PC, you can learn on the software. That is going to go for about nearly a month. And there is also going to be presentation from all the experts from India as well as from the abroad, like who are heading the pharma R&D. So the idea here is we are making you to get familiar with the basics, understand like on the demo, like make you to work on the software, the technology, everything, where you become kind of a full-fledged, well-versed about the technologies. Then we are bringing in the experts to talk their expertise. In fact, Dr. Kenneth and Dr. Praveen are going to talk at the end of the series like about their experience in the pharma R&D. And what we're also going to do is every 3 days, there will be a question answer sessions. So apart from all these things, like, okay, you can discuss with our scientists, clarify your doubts and everything. And we would like to make this as a wonderful one. Like we are willing to accept your suggestions to make this event a more knowledge sharing one also. So today, like in this world, like, okay, you have enough opportunities like in front of you, but how many resources you have, like, okay, you have enough number of resources, but how you use it, that is what like it's going to give you more insight into the way you look into the to change your aspects, everything. So be smart. You all know the story here. Okay, you want to go into a serendipity way, be smart, use the computational along with your theoretical aspects, and be smart to reach your goal, to enhance yourself. That is a way, like that is our idea, that is our motto in organizing this drug discovery course. Hope everybody will attend this course. Like if you want to attend this course, like somewhere like you will be paying a lot of money to attend and know about this, but we are not charging anything to empower yourself. It is an event brought by Schrödinger, the PCI, and all our partners like JSS University, Mysore, Manipal University, Glenmark, Syngene, and also like Indian Society for Chemists and Biologists. All of them has partnered together and bringing this event to all of you. So utilize it to the best. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity, and leave it to Sylvia to take it off next. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Sylvia.
Sorry, some technical issue there. Thank you, Dr. Raghu, for outlining the course and the features of the course. I would like to now invite Dr. Jorg, Managing Director, Schrödinger, who would be taking you through the roles of computers in drug discovery. Jorg Weiser is Executive Vice President and Managing Director, Schrödinger GmbH. He received his doctorate in organic chemistry from George August University in Göttingen, Germany in 1996. He conducted postdoctorate research at Columbia University, New York from 1997 to 1999 and worked in macromodel team of Professor Clark Still. He was co-founder and managing director of Ontario, a German consulting and research company established in 1999 prior to joining Schrödinger in 2002. Jorg, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Shelvia. Is the sound okay, Shelvia?
Yes, seems perfect.
Seems
Yes.
perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Good to hear that. Okay, welcome everyone. Good morning, everyone. I was asked by Shelby and Raghu to talk a little bit about computational drug design and how it evolves in the future. Raghu already talked about change a lot. And I think if one talks about the future, the best really is to start with the past. And I would like to start with my personal experiences. I was trained as a chemist. I worked in the wet lab as a student. And then for my PhD, I changed to computational chemistry, which is still a large part of computational drug design. And what's great to work in the scientific environment is, it's a friendly environment. You get lots of words of encouragement, but that is something one shouldn't confuse as perceived expertise. I mean, if people really come to you and they want something, and they really desperately want something for you, then you know that they think you have expertise in that. So what was that something in the 90s that experimentalists desperately wanted to get from computational chemists? It wasn't certainly the most accurate computation on a transition state, it was really nice graphics of molecules. And that was for a long time the main thing that everybody wanted to have from computational chemistry, nice graphics. I mean, there's nothing wrong about that. It's great. It's still an art to have nice graphics, but these things have certainly changed over time and have changed today. What now happens is a complete different way at looking at computational drug design. People from you want to have now completely different things than just graphics. So what we are doing here in order to change computational drug design is a combination of 3 different disciplines in one platform. So on the one hand, you see here on the left-hand side, physics-based modeling. This is where Schrödinger started, and this is where Schrödinger still is very, very strong. And this is what our main direction is. That means the calculation of properties of molecules. That is really key to precision design of new molecules. If you can't calculate molecules at the accuracy of experiment, then of course you have no chance prospectively to really design molecules. Physics-based modeling is accurate but very slow. On the other hand, on the right-hand side, you have machine and deep learning, which is very fast. So that allows you to ideate, to generate billions of molecules, of unexplored molecules, completely new molecules. You can assess their synthesizability. You can quickly come up with some relationships among them, and that machine and deep learning, that allows you to go into the billions, maybe even trillions of compounds based on the current computer speed. And then there is enterprise informatics. If you have a huge amount of data, maybe in silico data or experimental data, you need to store them somewhere. You need to make sure you have a way of making all of those data manageable for human beings. What computers are really good at, and what human beings shouldn't be competing with computer, is the performance of processing of large amounts of data. Human beings are very good in recognizing patterns. So therefore, an enterprise informatics environment should allow you to recognize patterns, to prepare all of those billions and trillions of data such that you see relationships that are of importance for you. So what can this look like in a drug discovery environment? So in short, what you see here on this slide is the combination of the accuracy of physics and the speed of machine learning, all of this assembled in an enterprise environment that allows you to look into these data quickly, that allows you to integrate experimental results, in silico results, having nice graphical user interfaces that doing the analytics. That helps you to have the entire picture in a drug design process where you go from billions of molecules to only a few chosen one, which hopefully have then the correct properties and which are then synthesized in the lab. I don't want to go into detail because that's why we have this program for the next weeks to come to explain in details what all of this does. But one important thought here, what a job can look like in the future. Raghu has talked a lot about change and to adapt. There is often the saying that the computers are taking over the human beings. They do all the calculations, they are intelligent, they will make all the decisions, and human beings are not needed any longer. So what is shown here has nothing to do with intelligence. This is performance. These computers these days have fantastic performance, but the results all depend on the contextual understanding and knowledge of human beings. The computers can only be good if you have good entry structures. So in this process, for example, you need to have a target structure that really works for that kind of process. Or you need to have input structures here of whatever sort that make sense and are not just noise. Because if you put noise in, you get noise out. So starting from here, but also going through each and every step, human beings will make decisions how to move forward, what to look at, what decisions need to be made. For example, you're ending up here. Maybe you have some good candidates, experienced decision makers look at what you got here and come to the conclusion, well, it's not good enough based on my experience, so therefore I go through news cycles here. So therefore the job of the future has a lot to do, in my opinion, with a holistic overview about the entire discipline. It's probably not enough to be an expert in every little step here. You have to be an expert in every little step, but you need to have a holistic overview of the entire process. You let then the computer do the sorting, all the performance of calculations. Hopefully it's nicely integrated. You don't have to do this all yourself. So therefore, the main job will be a combination of a deep knowledge and deep understanding of drug discovery, plus managing this platform, plus managing this process and making decisions at each and every step as manager of this process. And what I like about this is that there is no such thing as artificial intelligence and the computers are taking over. They just assist people to make better decisions. And the second thing is it allows you to become an expert in drug design, not just in one little part of it in which you then sit for a long period of time, not understanding what the departments next to you are doing. So this brings people together. This allows for collective decision making, and that allows for a better outcome. And in that kind of context, I wish you really an enjoyable course, learning everything that you need to learn in order to become a great drug hunter. And thank you very much for your attention, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, Jörg, for that interesting talk, and we are glad that you were able to join us this early in the morning from Germany. Moving on to our next speaker, please welcome Dr. Praveen Ayer, the Senior VP, Glenmark Pharmaceutical, who has a message for all of our audience. So Dr. S. Ayer, PhD, is responsible for new chemical entities NSE discovery portfolio at Ichnos Sciences, a US headquartered innovative biotech newly spun off from Glenmark Pharmaceutical Limited. He is R&D site head at Navi Mumbai, where he leads a multifunctional team of chemists, biologists, and pharmacologists focus on transforming the way we think about how to treat cancer, autoimmune diseases, and pain. Dr. Ayer received his bachelor's degree in pharmaceutical sciences from University of Bombay, India. He earned his PhD in organic chemistry from Duquesne University, USA, and trained at the University of Pittsburgh. Beginning as a bench scientist at Roche in California, Dr. Ayer has held position of increasing scientific and leadership responsibilities in organizations across geographies, including AstraZeneca and Zydus Cadila. He has significantly shaped several small molecule discovery programs and delivered multiple clinical candidates in diverse therapeutic areas, such as CNS, infection, and oncology. Please welcome Dr. Ayer.
Hi, good morning. This is Praveen, and I would like to thank Schrödinger for the opportunity to give this short address. So thank you, Dagu, and the other organizers over here. I think we are at an inflection point in drug discovery, especially in India, but definitely across the globe. And what I mean by that is, I think, decade after decade, we have new innovations, new ways of doing science, and then we discard the old ones and, change our tactic and technique and everything else. And like Jörg was saying a few minutes ago, this is the age of supercomputing. This is the age of, technology and, artificial intelligence and machine learning and all of that. And I think we all have a very good opportunity to participate and learn more about how machine learning and essentially algorithms can help with us being able to design better, newer molecules and fewer molecules to get to a drug. If you look at the statistics of how long it takes to discover a drug, it is actually quite daunting. And we all could do with a little bit of help. I've been in the business of drug discovery for a while now, across multiple organizations, and by and large, we rely on creativity, human creativity, a good dose of luck, and persistence to kind of keep pushing us forward to discover a molecule. And there are multiple failures along the way. The idea is to be able to learn from the failure, get up, and then do it again. And invariably, we do manage to make a contribution to society in fighting diseases. The way I look at computational chemistry, I am an organic chemist, a medicinal chemist by training and education. And computational chemistry is a very valuable tool because many chemists do not know how to think in 3 dimensions. They do not know how to think of a molecule beyond chemistry, right? Here you are able to look at the protein, you are able to look at the molecule in its environment where it's meant to be. And you need to be able to think holistically at the interface of chemistry and biology to be able to make any headway in drug discovery. And Schrödinger has always been at the forefront of drug discovery for decades and decades. And that's not because this is an area where you can make billions of dollars, but more because you can make significant changes and improvements to human life. And I applaud the effort because Schrödinger has not only supported pharmaceutical companies, but it's also seeded and participated in other biotech and pharmaceutical companies across the world. And the fact that we have this opportunity in India to participate and hear some eminent speakers, and also especially in academia, to be able to access a lot of the software that Schrödinger is able to provide, it is an incredible opportunity. And I know, being from the industry, that it's not easy or cheap to access Schrödinger software because of the years and years of effort that goes into building them. And therefore, the generosity of their offer to academia should be well appreciated and well used. And I do believe that Indian drug discovery, like I said, is at an inflection point. We have had a lot of companies dabble in it. A lot of them have fallen by the wayside, and there are a few left in the space. And the idea is that hopefully we will make an impact and a difference. And I ask a lot of the academics today on the Zoom call to also think from an application point of view, go beyond natural products and formulations, and go into deep science, right? Because that is where the real challenges are, and that is where your data will be held up to scrutiny. And if we are able to make that difference, I think India will be a lot more respected in the area of drug discovery. So I look forward to a very interesting session, and I wish you good learning and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayer, for the insightful talk. I would like to now welcome our next speaker, Dr. Kenneth Barr, Senior Vice President, Syngene International. Dr. Kenneth Barr completed his PhD in synthetic, organic, and organometallic chemistry under the direction of Professor Stephen Bachwald at MIT, and his postdoc study in natural product synthesis in the laboratories of Professor Stephen Martin at the University of Texas at Austin. Kenneth began his career in medicinal chemistry at Abbott Labs, and after 5 years, he moved on to join a startup platform technology called Synesis Therapeutics, where over the course of a decade, he held various project leadership roles. He subsequently served for 1 year as the director of medicinal chemistry for a virtual startup company called Ampli Therapeutics before being recruited to become a project leader for Merck Sharp, conducting externalized and integrated drug discovery. In 2014, he became the head of R&D operations for Pharma Therapeutics. Kenneth currently leads discovery services for Syngene, an internationally recognized contract research and manufacturing organization, which support R&D programs from early discovery through candidate selection, preclinical evaluation, and clinical stage and commercial manufacturing across multiple therapeutic areas and modalities. He is additionally leading the formation of new business unit for Syngene, which as a fully integrated therapeutic discovery organization will conduct discovery and preclinical development research on behalf of clients. Dr. Barr, the control is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just do a quick check to make sure that you can hear me and people can see the slide that I'm sharing.
Yes, we can see your slides and we can hear you fine.
Brilliant, thank you. And thank you very much to the organizers for inviting me to make a contribution to the start of this series. I appreciate that very much. So I'll be relatively brief. I just put together a couple of slides to help frame the context. In looking at the attendees for today's meeting, it occurred to me that there would be a range of expertise. Some people who are really kind of towards the end of their undergraduate or the start or the middle of their graduate careers, plus more experienced researchers in the industry and in academics. And so I wanted to just take a couple of seconds to frame the context of why we're here at Heart and what we're trying to do. And as the first couple of speakers have already mentioned, Jörg and Praveen, it's very important to be on the leading edge today of what technology can provide with respect to data science and computational sciences. Underlying all of that, there are some fundamental principles that it would be good to keep in mind as we're going through the process. So the first thing I wanted to point out, which will not be news to anybody, is that today therapeutic discovery really does go far beyond what we think of the more traditional small molecule drug discovery. And as you can see on the slide that I'm presenting, today we're trying to figure out the most appropriate modality to approach the therapeutic target that we can, sometimes in isolation, sometimes in combination. It depends a lot on the mechanism, where the target of interest is expressed, how it's implicated in the disease state, and how you need to approach it in order to be able to impact the disease in the right patient population. So as you can see by the illustration here, in addition to small molecules and some specialty platforms, we have antibodies and bifunctionals, we have conjugates, in addition PROTACs, which is targeted protein degradation, and now focusing on cell and gene therapy. These are just some of the many ways in which people are thinking about trying to approach drug discovery. At the start of any project, and as you work your way all the way through, there are three fundamental hypotheses that we are trying to figure out and to put into the broader context of the project. And I've illustrated these here. And a lot of the work that we're going to be doing in terms of how you apply the computational methods and informatics to solving problems will relate directly back to, if not one, all three of these hypotheses. So first, the therapeutic hypothesis itself, which is by modulating the expression or the activity of your biological target, will that bring benefit to a specific patient population that we can identify? So there's the disease itself, and then within the disease, from a mechanistic perspective, which are the patients that we're going to be helping? Secondly, it's the mechanistic hypothesis. So again, coming back to modulating expression or the activity of a target, how does that lead to very specific quantifiable changes, either through modification or again, expression degradation, to downstream members of the relevant pathways, so you can actually trace that all the way to the disease state. Examples of that would be including if you inhibit the formation or the signaling of the TNF trimer, will that ultimately lead to the cell expressing cytokines, which are pro-inflammatory, or actually to dampening that process? Or in the context of oncology, if you stop, for example, a cell surface receptor RAS, will that eventually block that unmitigated cellular replication? So you really want to be able to draw the mechanistic correlation around those targets. And then finally, the target engagement hypothesis, another area where a lot of the science that we're going to be eventually talking about will lead to, it's understanding the degree of coverage that you need over the target, or how much modulation you actually have to have and for what duration of time in a 24-hour or a week-long cycle in order to impact the disease in a way that's going to be well tolerated by the patient. So, so again, it's a bit broader context than speaking specifically to the computational side, but I think it's important to keep these in mind, because at the end of the day, what we're really here to do is discover new drugs to treat patients. The last part that I'll talk about, and this gets much more to the series of webinars that are coming up for you, is every single step of the drug discovery development process, all the way from preclinical into clinical development, and even the manufacturing that goes behind that, can in some way or other be impacted by data science, computational sciences, and informatics. And so just as a couple of specific examples, and I think many of you probably already quite familiar with the stages of drug discovery from the small molecule perspective that I'm showing here, starting with target identification and validation. A lot of space there for bioinformatics to understand the specific pathways and the genetics behind the disease, and then to marry that in concert with wet lab biology, and also to get your genetic validation, but ultimately to get a pharmacological validation as well. And once we move into hit identification, that's where a lot of the tools that have been described by Schrodinger and put together very well in terms of finding those molecules and then continuing to evaluate how different molecules may interact with the surface of a protein. To multi-parameter optimization, where going through the lead optimization process, it's not only about binding to your specific biological target, and for example, in the context of an enzyme inhibiting its activity, but it's understanding all the potential off targets, not only in the pathways relevant to the disease or sister proteins, but also in the context of other areas such as DMPK. So how well is a molecule likely to be absorbed? How soluble is it? How permeable it will be for the absorption? Whether or not you're likely to be inhibiting any of the CYP enzymes that are responsible for degradation of your or other molecules, drugs that people may be taking, whether or not there may be induction of CYP enzymes, interference with hERG or other types of proteins that are involved in trafficking of ions. So there are many different things that can be looked at simultaneously in a way that individuals just looking at tables and spreadsheets will be challenged to do, but using computational methods will be much more straightforward and really reduce that turnaround time to decision making, to go from hypothesis generation to data generation and analysis to a hypothesis revision. So that's why I'm really excited for the fact that the organizers put this webinar series together. I think all the participants are going to get a great deal out of it, and I'm really proud of the fact that Syngene is able to participate in some way. So just in closing, thank you very much to all the organizers and sponsors for putting this together. I wish you all great luck, and certainly happy to engage at any point if I can help in the future. Regards.
Thank you, Dr. Barr, for elucidating how drug discovery and development can be facilitated by computational approaches. I'm sure our audiences are benefited by your talk. I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Achintya Das, Director, Syngene International. Dr. Das is a Director of Research Informatics at Syngene. He has 2 decades of experience in computational chemistry, bioinformatics, drug discovery informatics, and artificial intelligence application in pharma, consumer goods, and other domains. Prior to Syngene, he was the Director of Life Sciences at Strand Life Sciences, where he led modeling services and solutions for intelligence-driven drug discovery. Thank you, Dr. Das, for joining us today, and the control is yours.
Thank you, Sylvia. So at the outset, let me thank Schrodinger and the Pharmacy Council for this initiative. It was much needed, and I'm sure it will benefit a lot of students and get them thinking early on during their careers about how to use computational tools in their work. So when I look back at computational drug design, this year actually marks 30 years of since I was first introduced to molecular modeling. And what is striking is what I would call the democratization of modeling, which has been driven both by advances in computational infrastructure, as well as companies like Schrodinger who have put together tools that enable uses by a broader scientific community and not be restricted only to trained computational chemists. So when I began modeling, you needed specialized workstations just to be able to view structures. You needed specialized computing infrastructure to do even a simple minimization. And molecular dynamic simulations used to be done on supercomputers, which was pretty frustrating when you started to work on these problems involving projects that pharma companies are interested in. But if you look at it today, you can actually run a free energy perturbation on a workstation that's sitting on your desktop. Medicinal chemists are routinely using modeling tools because you have applications like the Schrodinger suite where you can, without knowing nuances about how to run simulations, how to access algorithms, you can use that in a user-friendly user interface. And this makes the tools available to a broader community. There's a greater appreciation of how computational tools can help in a drug discovery and development process. As Jörg mentioned, you now have better tools, better computing infrastructure, and you have a host of data that's coming up. And the combination of all this is leading to a paradigm shift in how companies are thinking about drug discovery and development. And it's important that our students be aware of this, be trained on using these computational approaches, and realize how to benefit from them at all stages of their work. One of the things that we are struggling with now is to hire informaticians to be part of our informatics teams that support these discovery and development activities. And this is surprising given the number of bioinformatics and pharmacoinformatics courses that abound in India. So it's obvious now that one of the shortcomings of these courses is that they do not adapt to the rapid changes that happen in informatics, and are not addressing the needs of industry. So I'm that's excited about initiatives like this, and I hope that these bring about a change in the way we think about pharmacy courses in India. Start talking about how to use informatics at every stage of discovery and development. I look forward to presenting some of our applications across small molecules, biologics, and materials, and interacting with faculty and students during my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Das, for that talk. I would like to now welcome Professor Anamik Shah, President, Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists, who has a short message for our audience. Professor Anamik Shah is currently attached to a Heritage and Historian Gandhian University, Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Ahmedabad. Over and above his academic pursuit, Professor Shah has worked in diverse fields of science and technology, spearheaded several scientific organizations, and now sharing responsibility of few scientific institutes, research centers, and more recently, many rural-centric Gandhian education and extension organization attached with Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Ahmedabad. Thank you, Professor Anamik Shah. I would now give the controls to you.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, Professor Shah, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Good morning to all of you from Gujarat Vidyapeeth, and also as a president of now, I welcome all participants very important webinar in post-COVID international associations, as well as Pharmacy Council of India, has taken a very wonderful way to give the training to the undergraduate last year's students, postgraduate, and those researchers who are interested in drug discovery process at various stages. I am sharing our experience when I was in Saurashtra University for 33 years as a professor of organic chemistry and medicinal chemistry, and we have attended, and many of my students were doing research in organic chemistry, but they wanted to mold themselves in bioinformatics and also in drug discovery. And through Schrodinger, we were largely benefited, and many of my students, they've diverted from pure organic chemistry, from catalysis, from synthetic routes, from synthetic technology to the drug discovery process, and they have to the wonderful universities in Germany, in France, in Oxford, in Rutgers University, USA, and many others. So we were very happy when Vice President Dr. Raghu invited Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists to join. Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists is an apex body which keeps all together biologists, chemists, pharmacologists, bioinformatic people, natural product people together, and we work together for medicinal chemistry as a whole. So it was a very good opportunity for all of us, and to ask our members of the society to join in this program and get the wonderful benefit by the speakers across the globe as well as from India. I'm very happy that one of our old friends, President of PCI, Dr. Suresh, has taken a lead in this matter to join hands with the Schrodinger, and this is a very welcome step. Because in coming days, when we require more and more people to be trained in multidisciplinary approach, I think that this is a right step to have a very serious, meaningful interaction, talk, and training also. So with this brief talk and well wishes, I again welcome all of you on this platform, and I hope that those who are not aware about this, let them be informed by our friends, our sources, our institutes, our organization, so that more and more people can take benefit. And as these programs are absolutely affordable and very, very meaningful for the career of the young people too. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Shah, for your short message. I would like to now introduce our next speaker, Professor Mallikarjuna Rao, Principal, Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Professor Rao is Principal of Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. He has more than 27 years of teaching, research, and administrative experience, where he served as HOD, Vice Principal, and from 2013 he is serving as the principal. He is an alumnus of Manipal University, where he did his graduate studies and PhD. He has guided more than 10 PhDs, 51 PG research students. He has published more than 140 research papers in national and international journals. His area of research include pharmacology of wound healing and roles of antioxidants on healing status, physiology and pharmacology of inflammation, of tissue repair, screening the molecules of anti-cancer activity, role of oxidative stress and free radicals in DNA damage, screening the molecules for the efficacy against diabetes and dyslipidemia. Professor Mallikarjuna will be giving us his insights on the computational drug design in academic environment.
Thank you very much, Selvi. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes. Thanks a lot. Good morning to all the panelists, and let me thank my friend Dr. Raghu and Dr. Kenneth, Dr. Pritish Bhatt, and of course my colleague Dr. Dhanpal for having given me this opportunity to give my message to my all fellow mates, the principals and the faculty members of the different institutions who are participating in this great webinar on the computational drug design. I've been asked to give us a brief message on the computational drug design and academic environment. I would only begin saying that drug discovery and development is the crux of the pharmaceutical industry for its business growth and development in all aspects, including its responsibility to finding safe and efficacious medications for the needy. The drug discovery and development is a complex, complicated, challenging, comprehensive at times, time-consuming, and very expensive processes. The cost of introduction of a new drug was pegged at $800 million US in 1980. That was the time I was doing my undergraduation in this institution. My teachers used to tell me that the time that would take for introduction of a new molecule, anything between 8 to 10 years. Subsequently, we have heard that it has gone up substantially, very close to $3 billion plus US for a period of 12 to 15 years to introduce a new molecule in the therapeutics. A survey, however, in 2019 says that the institutions are spending on an average 2.3 billion USD to introduce a molecule. Surprisingly, the latest survey in 2020 says that the cost of launching a new molecule is close to 1.3 billion USD. I really don't know. I have absolutely no information on what has brought down the cost to such a bare minimum, almost by 50% in the last couple of years. I only presume that modern and the advanced technological tools employed, especially in the preclinical discovery, might have reduced the cost of developing the new drugs. The success of introduction of a new drug may be a new chemical entity, a new dosage form, or a technology at large, depend on the drug design. One of the most fruitful approaches of drug design we all know these days is the rational drug design approach. The rational approach deals with the identification, characterization of the leads, the targets, and the hits, etc., and etc. In the past 20 years, the data in huge volumes have been generated and accumulated by the scientists of repute across the globe. Accessing this data to organize it to our needs is a Herculean task. Hence came the computer-aided drug designs. One such design is the computational drug design, a tool which makes the thinking, ideation, and postulations to a virtual reality before one could proceed to establishing the reality. The pharmacy professionals, together with the other healthcare professionals, play a greater role in the jargon of the drug discovery and development. Most of our educational materials are designed to train our UG and PG students to establish themselves as knowledge source to participate in different facets of the drug discovery and developmental process. To meet these goals and the objectives of our educational process, we need to abridge with the latest changes in the field of the drug discovery and development, and should be able to adopt the changes in the technology and the tools in the drug design. With this in mind, we have established a center in collaboration with the Schrodinger in the name of Manipal Schrodinger Center for Molecular Simulation a few years back. Precisely, it has been 2 years since we procured a complete suite from the Schrodinger for our needs, not to just limit the needs of the Department of Chemistry. It includes the material sciences and others as well for other institutional needs of our university, MAHE. The software suite is an end-to-end version. We are the only one to have this complete suite with us in academic institutions, while it is also there in research institutions, namely Institute of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in Delhi. The software suite helped us in the following ways to strengthen our research further. Training our undergraduate and postgraduate students and most of the specializations, not only just the pharmaceutical chemistry, students from pharmacology to chemistry to biotechnology, even the clinical related, they all come on to use this, and there is a lot of demand on this. And this is helping us conducting the discourses in the rational drug design through seminars and workshops, helping us reduce the time spent by our postgraduate students and research scholars to design the study protocols, to initiate the products, the research process, and helping us promote the publications in terms of the number and the quality. It is helping us to enhance our success in getting the funding from the government as well as the non-government funding sources. It's precisely actually is igniting the passions in the minds of the younger students, particularly from the undergraduate students. All of them are very keen to play their hands on the keyboard to learn more about the software, especially when they're doing the process in the undergraduate level and the final year. There are many more like this. I can go on and on. I would only sum up to say that this is the time the educational institutions like us change the gears to learn and adopt the computer-aided drug design and impart the knowledge to our students accordingly. And I would only end by saying Schrodinger software suite is the one what we have a single platform to find solutions to multiple problems in the pharmaceutical sciences. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for giving me this opportunity to share my views, our experiences with Schrodinger software. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Professor Mallikarjuna, for your interesting talk and highlighting about the COE and how it has helped the academic research in Manipal. I would like to take a moment here to thank our chief guest, Professor S. Suresh. Professor Suresh assumed charge as Pro-Chancellor, JSS Academy of Higher Education Research. I know he's not there, I'm just thanking him. So I just wanted to let everybody know who is responsible for kindling this whole course. So I would like to just take a moment to thank him. Professor B. Suresh assumed charge as Pro-Chancellor at JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Mysore in June 2019. Dr. B. Suresh was the founding Vice Chancellor of JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, a deemed university. Dr. B. Suresh has distinguished himself as an eminent educationist, pharmacist, and a leader. He was elected in 2003 as the President of Pharmacy Council of India. He was once again re-elected as the President of Pharmacy Council of India in August 2008 and in August 2013, and broke all records by winning the PCI presidentship for the 4th time, and has the unique honor being elected for 4th time to this leadership position. He was also the chairman of a scientific body of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission 2012-2017, which is responsible for setting of standards for pharmaceutical substances and formulations. The leadership provided by Dr. B. Suresh at the Pharmacy Council of India has resulted in bringing about a paradigm shift in pharmacy education and profession in India. In recognition of his invaluable services in the field of pharmaceutical education, he received many prestigious awards like Eminent Pharmacist Award, Emil Shroff Award, and K.C. Chatterjee Award, and many more of them. I would like to thank Professor B. Suresh for giving us this platform to reach out to the academics and educate them about the computational approach of drug discovery. Finally, I would like to invite Professor Gautam Shenoy, Vice President, Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Manipal, who would like to give a vote of thanks and the concluding remarks.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank profusely Professor Dr. B. Suresh, the President of Pharmacy Council of India, for playing key role in organizing this webinar for the benefit of people who are interested in learning about the various computational tools and using them for the scientific research. Thanks to Dr. Jörg Weiser, Managing Director of Schrödinger, for elaborating the strength of Schrödinger software, the role of computers in drug discovery, and for the support extended in organizing this webinar. I also thank Professor S.P. Dhanpal, Principal, JSS College of Pharmacy, Ooty, for welcoming and addressing the dignitaries, organizers, and participants. Mr. Raghu, Vice President Schrödinger, has played an important role in organizing this webinar. Thank you, Mr. Raghu, for giving an overview of this webinar, also emphasizing about the need to adapt to the evolving situation. I also thank profusely Dr. Praveen Ayer, the Chief Scientific Officer, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, Dr. Kenneth Barr, Senior Vice President, Syngene International Limited, Dr. Achintya Das, Director, Syngene International Limited, Professor Anamik Shah, President of the Indian Society of Chemists and Biologists, Dr. C. Mallikarjun Rao, Principal, Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Manipal, for sharing their thoughts, experience on the use of computational tools and the impact on drug discovery. I thank the team members from Schrödinger, Manipal, MCOPS in particular, and JSS for their support in organizing this inaugural session. Thank you, participants, for your kind participation. I also thank Shelvia for taking us through the program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Professor Shenoy. I think we've already overrun our time. So I would like to let you all know that if you have any questions, you can always write to us. We will try to answer all your questions. So this concludes our webinar. On behalf of PCI as well as the team at Schrödinger, thank you for joining us and taking time to view our inaugural presentation. I hope you will have great experience ahead and will be benefited by the course that we have put together for you. Thank you and have a great day.
Sylvia, madam.
Yes, yes, sir.
Madam, I'm Dr. Kalirajan from Ooty.
Yes, sir.
So many of the registered delegates didn't get the YouTube link.
Dr. Kalirajan, can you please switch to YouTube live now already? Please, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Can we stop the live feed?
Okay. Many are called us. They didn't receive the YouTube link, madam. Just
yes, sir.
check.
Actually,
it's still live on YouTube. Please, sir, we can chat offline. Please, can you please no?
Okay.
Chat no offline. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Sylvia, please go ahead and finish up the session. We'll chat, offline.
Okay. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Bye-bye.